Hey, what's up, y'all? So we're gonna talk about Cassie versus Diddy in this courtroom and the last parts of her testimony and how, you know, um the cross-examination part, right? I think the biggest thing that's being overlooked in this case of Cassie, versus Diddy, the state or whatever versus Diddy, is the fact that Diddy turned Cassie out. That's what he did. Cassie was taken from the tutelage of music producer Ryan Leslie, right? She then went on to be signed by Diddy. Um, I don't even know whether or not she had an opportunity to read the contract or even let alone understand it. So there's that. I think we could all agree that the contract was bullshit. It was BS. Not only was it BS, but it was a deal that I doubt that he ever had any intention of honoring. Um, so there's that. Why I say this? Because he didn't. Where's two albums, let alone 10? Where's the first? I mean, did he turn Cassie out much like a pimp would do one of his whores? And please keep in mind this is for entertainment purposes only. And none of this is fact. This is of my opinion, but it's a very strong one. After being turned out, everything that came after that, the drugs, the drug fueled parties, then later on the sex parties, the freak off, which we know this is his thing. This is what he was into. This is what she was introduced to. This is what he allegedly got off on. So he pretty much introduced her to the lifestyle. Now, I feel like she was coerced into doing what he felt like he needed her and wanted her to do, which wasn't being in the studio and doing music. Like, because there's evidence, there's barely any, and we know what he's done for his other artists, and a lot of them, a lot of them have talent, and some of them didn't and couldn't sing. So Diddy got her hooked on drugs that he mostly supplied, right? Allegedly. Not only did he get her hooked on drugs, but he got her hooked on the lifestyle that she was roped into. She was young, dumb, not very aware. Obviously, the glitz, the glamour, this powerful man. I got connections. I could put you on. And if you don't F with me, nobody's going to F with you type shit. Allegedly. So this is a lifestyle that was completely supplied by Diddy. He paid for her to have this lifestyle. He paid for her and provided her with the housing, food, clothes. He gave her money. Allegedly, he had his people book trips and then later on moved to making her book the trips. I believe he moved from having his people set up these trips and getting these, escorts, whatever, so that if she ever spoke out, that it would be like she set it up and he would keep his hands from getting dirty. I feel like maybe he knew that later she would probably want speak out because, you know what I mean? And that was his way of kind of like protecting himself, from the backlash and from whatever would come later on. And, in his own defense, uh, I mean, it's obvious to me, but do y'all see the play now and how things kind of could have gone this way and why? And well, let me just continue. Diddy did everything that a pimp would do, like the niggas from Harlem, and was around like, old school pimps. What? He introduced her to the lifestyle. Diddy was abusive when Cassie wouldn't do what he wanted her to do, i.e. comply. I believe the beatings was to spark fear. And I think it worked effectively. And I also think it was done just so he could show her that he can overpower her at any time. But also to prove that he was the one that was in control. So what are we talking about here? That's pimp shit, y'all. It's pimp shit. Cassie complied when she realized her how like just powerful and influential he was in her predicament, the situation that she had gotten herself into, especially by signing that contract and having to have him, over her career. You know, he could pause or stop her at any time when it came to things like that, and the people around her via his influence. In essence, he had full control over her and her career and her life at the time. Um, that's pimp shit, y'all. I think Cassie realized that nobody was coming in to save her ass, so she complied. I feel like Cassie did whatever Diddy wanted her and needed her to do to feed his demons. Because y'all do know he got sex demons on him crazy, right? Maybe he picked them up. I don't know when he picked them up, but he does have them. He got a serious issue. He need to go get some help, whether he get out or not. And the strangest part about this, I feel like she did all of these things for him, not just to help boost her career, because I feel like at one point that she really did fall in love with this man because he showed her a lighter side, but that was just a side that he was showing, not truly who he is. And she fell in love with that portion of it, and I feel like she would do anything at that point to please him. I also feel like she did the freak offs in the hopes of after the freak offs she would get to spend time with him, and I believe that she said that in court. After the freak off, this is allegedly, this is just of opinion. I believe that she felt like, he'd finally be happy with her, because when you're with a man like that, the first thing he does is try to knock you down a peg. Especially if you're beautiful and you have so much potential, he'll try to make you doubt yourself. These are facts. These are narcissistic facts. So she continued these freak offs, because that's typical bottom bitch shit. Whatever daddy wants, Diddy in this case. Sure. Yeah, like that's typical bottom bitch shit. Treat her a little nice, dangle a little. Oh yeah, we can go here. Dangle a little love or here and there, and it'll be okay. This and that. Tell her, say whatever you gotta say. Bitch, get to this freak off, okay? And if you don't get to this freak off, the little niceties he showed her, and you don't behave, and you don't do what you're told, and you don't make me happy with these freak offs, he's gonna snatch that away from her. Like things like affection and access to him, whatever, and whatever he had going on, that got her notoriety or whatever, he would take that away. Yeah, so that's typical pimp shit. It really is. All right, so they say when a man has your mind, or anyone for that matter, they could pretty much make you do with that whatever the hell they want you to do. Exert power over you, especially if you are, you have doubts and you have insecurities about certain things about yourself. They'll kind of zero in on that and kind of like highlight them often till you start doubting yourself even more and feeling like, just not good unless that person is approving of you. And I feel like that's the way this relationship went with Diddy and Cassie. It's kind of like, it was really lopsided in the sense where, you had this powerful man, you had this young woman, and then later on a woman. By that time you are conditioned. Okay, here's the thing. Let me just really get into it. By that time you're conditioned. That's no different from a person that has Stockholm syndrome. Say somebody snatch you up, right, off the street. Child, your ass done been locked away for 5 years or more. And this person show you some nicety after they done beat and abused you, did all that stuff. You're going to lean into that niceness because everything else feels so goddamn bad. You're doing anything in your power to get back to that nice moment. Say you somewhere and this person is abusing you over and over. You can't get mad at yourself and because your body gets aroused or responds to that. It's a body. It's a human body. It's made of flesh. It may respond to that, not because you want to, because you're just in that situation. And, like she said, like I said at the end, she had to go get massive different kind of therapy. She has PTSD. This is crazy. No woman should have to be forced to sleep with that many men over and over for 4 hours. This shit crazy as fuck. Okay? So there you have it. That's how I feel about this case with Diddy versus Cassie. In case y'all, trying to blame